The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers or Rogers TV.
Welcome to Left and Right. An eye for an eye. Live by the sword and die by the sword. If you plot and plan to kill another human, you then should receive the same fate, death, as justice for your crime. But what if the measurement of guilt is based on a legal system that convicts based on beyond a reasonable doubt? And then an innocent man is executed. Is state-sanctioned execution barbaric or warranted in specific circumstances? In this program, we focus on the death penalty. I'm Michael A. Charbon, and this is Left and Right. And welcome to Left and Right. My name is Michael A. Charbon, and today on the program we are discussing the death penalty. Beside me here is Mr. Jackson Doughart. Mr. Doughart is a contributing editor to the Holy Post, which is part of the National Post blog. And also joining me is former Crown prosecuting attorney, Mr. Calvin Berry, who now is a defense attorney here in Toronto. So we've got a little bit of both sides here. You know, the last execution in Canada was conducted on December 11th, 1962, and it's when two people were hanged for murder. A total of, it says here, 710 people have been executed in Canada and were hanged, and they were all victims of violence. And the most recent motion to reinforce the death penalty was defeated during a vote in the House of Commons in 1987. And capital punishment was abolished in Canada in 1976 after DNA testing revealed the innocence of numerous convicts. What some people are saying is, you know, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, something that I mentioned in my open. But I'm going to list a couple of names here that should unfortunately bring back some horrible memories of things that have gotten put into the eye. One is Paul Bernardo, Colonel Russell Williams, if you recall, the military guy, Canadian military guy, Willie Picton from Vancouver, Clifford Olson, and more recently, Luca Magnotta. Each one of those people created a crime that is basically empirical evidence that says that they are guilty. They killed someone. Now, if we have that, if we take the basis of that you can't defeat the fact that they killed someone. They should be put to death. Now, there are many people that would say no. Two wrongs don't create a right. We don't, as a society, have the right to take away someone else's life. Whereas other people would say, if you're going to spend $113,000 a year to keep this person alive, why should you? Our debate today is on the death penalty. There are lots of things to talk about. There's lots of positions to talk about. You can look at financially. You can look at it morally. You can look at it legally. I don't know. What say you, Jackson? Where's your stance on the death penalty? How do you feel we should look at this?
Oh, I'm an opponent of the death penalty, and I don't think it should be brought back under any circumstances.
Why is that?
Well, because I don't think that justice demands mirror punishment, or the lex talionis, as it would have been known from the days of Hammurabi. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, my conception of criminal justice is a retributivist one, and I think it's rooted in the social contract, whereby the state will leave us alone unless we break the rules, in which case our liberty is suspended.
Paul Bernardo has been seen on tape creating heinous actions,
Sure.
Killing people. And we don't have to regurgitate that disgusting scenario, but we know that he's guilty. And where I draw the line on a personal issue is that you have to have absolute empirical evidence that says that the person is guilty. But upon that, why should we keep that person alive? That person did not do any justice to the person that they killed. Why should we be paying all this money to incarcerate them when this useless piece of, you know what I want to say, is still alive?
Because, as I say, the demands of justice, as I understand them, don't demand it. But actually, your point on expense is, in my opinion, a non-argument. I mean, we've seen, especially in California, where it's actually more expensive to have someone on death row because there's
so
an infinite number of appeals are allowed.
It's a load of crap. I'm sorry, it really is.
Well, hold on. If we're going to execute someone, shouldn't that person be allowed to continue appealing the decision?
There comes a point where you have stays of execution. Now we have to say there is a movement in the United States, or an organization called the Innocence Project, where they have, and rightly so, they have exonerated like 321 people, I believe is the number, that were on death row. So that was basically due to DNA evidence, where people were, and we come back to something in your bailiwick, Calvin, a presumed guilt, or without what's that?
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
Beyond a reasonable doubt. That is not the basis by which that you would issue the death penalty. I'm talking about the death penalty in something like Luca Magnotta, where on the internet you see him decapitating someone, or you see him doing that, or Paul Bernardo, where you see irrevocable evidence on videotape that shows that person did that. There should be no right of appeal in that scenario, or if there is a right of appeal, there should be something short and sweet. I mean, we have places in this world where if you're caught stealing, they cut your hand off. I mean, where do you sit on this, Kelvin?
Well, fortunately, we're not one of those countries where they cut off your hand for a loaf of bread, Michael. But yeah. I was a prosecutor for over 15 years. I prosecuted over 30 murders, first degree, second degree manslaughter, jury trials. And now I'm on the dark side on defending, and I've had about 5 homicide cases. Even when I was a prosecutor, and I was quite a right-wing prosecutor, and I was kind of, raw victims' rights and have criminal code will prosecute. I just never felt that capital punishment and an eye for an eye was a way to go. I think that the Americans have it wrong. I know New York State even repealed the death penalty, and they did an about-face. I don't think that as a society that's a message you want to send, that you're going to kill somebody. I think that you imprison them for the rest of their life. First-degree murder, planned deliberate, 25 years, no parole. That's sufficient to meet the end of justice, and it's morally something that I agree with, that you just don't start killing people because I think you're sending
Wait a second, don't start killing people. Come
society.
On, you're really generalized. Start killing. I think we're going to go to commercial because I think we're going to have a great debate here. You're watching Left and Right. My name is Michael Charbon. We're talking about the death penalty. We'll be back with more. Come right back, right after this.